I approached 2,300 women in order to solve the biggest problem in my life. The lack of female attention. At 28 and still a virgin, I was about to kill myself. 0 likes, 0 women, 0 confidence. The only women I'd spoken to in my entire life, those were the women that had to talk to me, like teachers, cashiers, and my family, of course. There wasn't a single party I'd gone to in my 20s. I was just too terrified. So I spent the better part of my time in my room playing video games. That was actually much easier than trying to talk to people, hold hands, kiss, or God forbid have sex. At that point, I was seriously depressed, crying every day. This was a clear sign from my body that I had made all the wrong decisions. I was friendless, I was alone, I was womanless. The pain of staying in the same place was now greater than the pain of actually going after it. And that's when I actually decided I had to take the path of most resistance. There was simply no other choice. Cold approach or pickup is seeing someone you like and just going up to them and having a chat. Let me skip the details and summarize it for you. It's utter chaos. The only way to describe my first approach, it was gut-wrenching. I actually got lucky because I got her phone number, but eventually I was too scared to even call her. So I never did. Many approaches followed after this, and I entered a seemingly endless cycle. I would wake up with a pit in my stomach, knowing I would have to talk to someone new today, and then I would cry myself to sleep because nothing was working. And the only thing that actually kept me going was...
It's not okay to make excuses.
As I was preparing to go out, I would watch the videos and cry at the same time. Because I knew I'd have to go through the most embarrassing situations again and again and again. My brain was physically changing, and that meant just one thing: pain and suffering. But after each massively failed approach, something weird would happen. The pent-up anxiety got replaced by happy hormones. The reward centers in my brain were firing, signaling I had survived, feeling power and exhilaration. This was chemistry that I had never felt before, and it was running through my veins. And after 6 months in the trenches, and 396 approaches later, it finally happened. I lost my virginity. To date, this is hands down one of the most challenging things I've ever had to do in my life. Anyway, from where I stand today, 400 approaches doesn't seem like too much, but it was a hell of a lot back then. Since that time, I've talked to more than 2,300 women, and the actual statistics, how many women actually succeeded in seducing, will shock you a bit. But first, let me give you the key lessons I learned doing this. Number 1. Courage. So from everything I went through, if there is one thing that was an absolute game changer for me, that was courage. Overcoming my fear of talking to women permeated every area of my life. I got multiple promotions at work because I actually had the balls to go and ask for it. I met and talked to various young men who were ambitious and powerful, otherwise I never would have met. And my relationship with my family grew much deeper and much stronger. I was now able to share things with them I had previously kept buried deep inside. And I wasn't afraid to speak up, stand my ground, or take more social risks. It was liberating. Overall, it has given me the confidence I can pursue a bigger and better life for myself. Number 2, it's a power drug. The feeling that comes after approaching a woman, I can't compare this to anything else. It didn't matter if I got rejected or not. The rush I felt was incomparable. On very, very limited occasions, without any alcohol, I would get into such a state that my balls would just pump so much testosterone into my system that I literally felt unstoppable. There wasn't a single thing I could say or do that was wrong. Everything was right because it was coming from me, my energy. And so people had no choice but to be drawn to me. And that felt as if the universe would bend around me. Number 3, anxiety. But I've come to realize that the fear of actually approaching a woman never fully goes away, especially if you've just left the house. It happens to me nowadays as well. It's probably hardwired into us biologically. And so I just learned to handle it better. It's now a signal for me that I'm excited, that I have a new opportunity in front of me, something to be thrilled about. Number 4, don't waste your time. I learned 90% of everything I needed in my first 100 approaches. So my advice to you, if you're considering doing this, is not to focus on it exclusively. And certainly don't take any courses or programs like I did. And certainly don't go out with the intention of just approaching. Instead, just practice it when you're going about your daily routine, when you're going to the supermarket, or maybe you're taking a walk. Alright, the most fun part, statistics. So in total, I approached 2,382 women. I went on a date with 16 of them. I kissed 10 of them and had sex with 2 of them. In total, I had 1 relationship. This actually means that 1 in 1,200 women would sleep with me. And this is excluding dating sites, by the way. So I must admit that these figures are quite underwhelming. One would expect more after spending thousands of dollars and thousands of hours doing this. Sure, other guys have way better numbers than I do, but my character growth is absolutely undeniable. I turned from a scared little boy into someone who is capable of tackling his fears head on. To date, I have to say this is far and away the hardest skill I've ever had to learn. And if you want to learn more about cultivating the kind of discipline necessary to stick to something like this, check out this video I made.